What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Today, I'm going to be showing off Yohei Takeda's top 32 Oceania International Championships Magcargo-GX deck. This has become a very popular deck in standard format. It's all over the ladder right now, and it is a lot of fun to play. Magcargo-GX hits really hard with its lava flow attack. It does 50 damage plus 50 more for each basic energy you discard from this Pokemon. So if you've got 4 basic energy attached, you can discard all of them, do 250 damage. If you have 5 energy, you can do 300 damage, capable of knocking out any tag team Pokemon in the format. So Lava Flow, great for hitting one-hit KO numbers. Also Fire typing, excellent, since Zacian V-decks are all over the place. This deck got even better with the release of Sword and Shield because Crushing Charge, the energy acceleration ability for this deck, allows you to discard the top card of your deck, and if it's a basic energy card, you can attach it to one of your Pokemon, and you can guarantee that that card is going to be a basic energy with Oranguru's Primate Wisdom ability, which allows you to switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. So with plenty of ways to get fire energy into your hand, Fiery Flint, Fire Crystal, and of course, smooth over Magcargo. There are a lot of ways to get fire energy to your hand, and then you can guarantee that energy going to the top of your deck with Primate Wisdom, and then accelerate that energy into play with Crushing Charge. And then Magcargo, only worth 2 prizes, so it trades pretty nicely with a lot of the other threats in standard format right now. But we do have Island Challenge Amulet in the deck in order to sweeten that prize trade a little bit against decks like Zacian ADP. When they use their GX attack, you can make it so that they're only taking 2 prizes on your Magcargos rather than 3. Island Challenge Amulet gives you 100 less hit points, but makes your Pokemon worth 1 less prize card. So that can be very valuable. Slap it on your Dedennes or on your Magcargo-GXs to just give you that extra turn you need to win the game against Zacian ADP decks. Other than that, it is a straightforward, consistent deck. We've got 4 research, 4 welder, and a really explosive search engine with 4 Great Ball, 3 Pokémon Communication, and 4 Quick Ball. So I love that aspect of the deck as well, and it is a ton of fun to play. So let's get to some gameplay action with the Magcargo deck. Welder decks have been gaining in popularity since Oceania, where Zach Lesage was able to finish in 2nd place with his Welder box deck, and for good reason. Not only are they still consistent as ever, they also trade very well with the Zacian deck. So we have an opportunity to day-to-day change here. I'm thinking that's probably the best bet for us, rather than try to work out anything with just a single single Pokemon Communication. I think we're just going to let this hand go, and by discarding the fire energy, we do activate all of our fire crystals, so that is nice. We can Fiery Flint here to get more fire energy to our hand, and I'm thinking I probably don't want to day-to-day change again, so we can just go here and get a lot of fire energy into play, or into our hand for that matter. And then I can Great Ball, see if we find ourselves a, let's see, we've got a Magcargo. That's a little bit tough considering I'm looking like I'm using research this next turn. So let's just go here, and then we can, I don't want to Quick Ball for the Slugma yet because I would like to try and get a Slugma off of this Primate Wisdom. We've got a Pokemon Communication. That's not really going to do it for us, so let's go get ourselves a Slugma here. And then since I did reorder my deck, I do have an opportunity to potentially hit on the 2nd Primate Wisdom. Instead, we just have a Fire Crystal, so it's going to be a attachment from me and a pass. Now, it is a little bit unfortunate having the Oranguru in the active position. We're really just trying to get as many Slugmas out as early as we can with this deck. It looks like we're playing a fire mirror match. It might be a Magcargo mirror. This deck has been everywhere on the ladder and is very popular right now. Players just like this Oranguru card. Primate Wisdom, very cool ability, can give you a lot of flexibility with your top decks to throw resources that you want back on top of your deck. Like for instance, I plan on throwing that Fire Crystal onto the other side of this Professor's research so that I can get it out there on the other side of that supporter. It looks like this is a more traditional Welder box deck. They've got Heatran ready to attack here turn 1, so that's very powerful. and potentially you're going to be taking a knockout on my Oranguru. Now, I do have the potential to accelerate to a one-hit KO on that Heatran GX next turn, and I actually am stoked about it because I did not want to have to get this Oranguru out of the active position. So that's fine, Heatran, you go ahead and take that knockout on my Oranguru. And next turn, obviously if I top deck a Pokemon, it's great. I can Pokemon Communication for my Magcargo GX. If not, we're just going to use Research and go from there. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to knock out this Heatran GX this next turn. So let's just use Primate Wisdom and put the Fire Crystal on the other side of this. We got the Ditto, so that's cool. I can use this to go get myself a Magcargo GX. And then we do have the Energy Attachment and Research. So that's good. I would like to find, yes, another Oranguru. That's good because I need to put another Fire Energy onto the top of my deck. And then I also need to get myself a, it looks like I probably am going to be using Welder this next turn. So I need to get myself another Magcargo. And it appears as if we prized a lot of Slugmas. I got at least 2 Slugmas in the old prize cards. So that is unfortunate, but should be chilling here. I can Primate Wisdom this Fire Energy onto the top of my deck and then use Crushing Charge to accelerate that Fire Energy to myself. And you can see why this deck is popular. That was just very fun. It's a nice little wombo combo there. And we've got the Lava Flow, discard all of our energy. I don't want to give them the Giant Hearth. And we are just good to go. If my Magcargo GX does get KO'd this next turn, then I do have Welder to potentially get a lot more energy into play, which is totally fine. I do just need to find another Magcargo GX, and I really would have liked to have found a Slugma there, though I do think I have Ditto Prism Star in the deck, so that could be a possible target for me to put onto the bench this next turn. We do play 1 copy of the Ninetales, which does give us some Gust ability as well, along with that Ditto Prism Star. And we saw with no Welders played, I was able to get a 200 damage attack on turn 2 with this deck, which is really strong, right? I mean, most fire decks just rely on needing to hit Welder every single turn in order to have a great route to attack, but this deck is not a problem. And another cool thing about the Magcargo deck is that we got Burning Magma GX, so if you happen to be playing against a Cincino Mill deck, we do have that option to potentially win the game against Cincino Mill. If they ever dip at 5 or less cards in deck, we can just Burning Magma GX for game, and that's a win condition against any deck. Lots of decks get down to the final resources left in their deck, and you can really take advantage of that with Burning Magma GX, which is a great GX option to have. Now it looks like my opponent is building up this Victini V. It's got an attack energy burst, which I have seen get in there and take some knockouts, but I'm pretty confident here that, okay, yeah, they're not going for that. They're going for the Spreading Flames and just going to build up that Reshiram Charizard on their bench and recover some of that fire energy, which seems like a stronger play than hitting energy burst for 60 damage. Seems pretty irrelevant. So up next, we've got this Fire Crystal, which is great. Get that energy back from the discard pile. I can also Giant Hearth away the Fiery Flint and just get a couple fire energy there as well. So let's Welder first. I can Quick Ball too, but I think we're probably, let's see. Yeah, we'll probably want the Ditto. So let's go get that. I don't need anything else. Just want the Ditto in play, and then we're going to Welder. A couple of energies onto our active, and then I can guarantee myself a obviously a Crushing Charge hit 2. So I can go and Primate Wisdom an energy onto the top of the deck. And we've got our Magcargo GX. That's really good. And then I can use Crushing Charge to accelerate that energy to the Magcargo GX in the active. And then might as well just attach this energy from hand for turn. And then I could Crushing Charge again, which is actually crazy. So we get to Primate Wisdom. And now that I've got 2 Magcargo GXs in play, this is just like really nuts. I can go Crushing Charge again, and I know that there's a fire energy on the top of the deck, and we can hit it right here. So at this point, I've got a really good board state built up with a ton of energy, and I am pretty comfortable placing this Ditto Prism Star down. That's fine. I don't really need to use the Island Challenge Amulet. I've already got my opponent on an odd prize count, so I want to force them to attack with somebody big to take this upcoming knockout. So let's just go and Lava Flow, discard these 3, and we're going to deal 200 damage to the Victini V and take a knockout, going to just 2 prizes remaining. Now we do have a couple of Welders in our hand, and there's a Fire Crystal. It's perfect and is going to help us to get the energy to Welder and really finish off this game no matter what. Because, of course, my opponent does have the option to target down this Magcargo with the energy. That's always a fear, but we see how consistent this deck is at setting up the Crushing Charge ability, just getting a ton of fire energy into play. In addition to the Welders, the attachments from hand, we just have so many different options to flood the field with energy. It was very easy to get 2 Magcargo-GX built up and attacking as early as the 2nd turn of the game. So this has been phenomenal, and I'm really impressed with how the deck is working so far. Now, it does look like my built-up Magcargo is going to be going down, but I don't expect my opponent to reset stamp. A lot of these Welder decks are not playing reset stamp, including this Magcargo-GX deck that we've got right here. So it's just going to be a Flare Strike for KO, and then I should have the resources I need to finish this game off. All I need to do is bring up Dedenne-GX and have 3 energy on a Magcargo, and that is game. With double Fire Crystal, it's absolutely locked up. We have it guaranteed. The Ninetales here, with its 9 Temptations ability, is going to be able to gust up the Dedenne. So let's bring that up. And we've got another Fire Crystal as well. And then we can just go Welder 2 fires onto the Magcargo and then attach from hand. And we could do even more damage if we needed to. We don't need to, though. We've got the 200 damage per game. Magcargo-GX taking down Welder Box. I mean, this is looking really good so far, and I'm definitely impressed with how much damage and how consistently that Magcargo combo really succeeds. We're going to play one more and see how we do. I've got Oranguru starts, and I feel like Oranguru is probably the safer starter if we are going second, because we want to protect our Slugmas at all costs. We only have so many of those, and our Slugmas evolve not only into Magcargo-GX, but also the Celestial Storm Magcargo, both of which are kind of essential to the functioning of this deck. And it looks like my opponent is playing traditional Welder Box, and they don't have too much going on in that opening hand, unfortunately. Now, for myself, I think I'm kind of cool. I don't necessarily want to Dedenne change yet. I think that I kind of like all these cards in my hand. I could give them the Giant Hearth. That does feel a little bit ugly. I think I'm fine to just switch and Dedenne change next turn, and we have the option to do 200 damage. So kind of cool with that. Let's just Primate Wisdom, and I think I'm going to Primate Wisdom the Fire Crystal onto the other side of my deck. And we got a Great Ball, so that's just phenomenal. And then we're definitely just putting the energy here. Great Ball. Hopefully we get something good. Nope. But that's okay. So we're just going to, I think, grabbing the Dedenne does give us an option if we find a Pokemon Communication or something like that. I think I'm just going to leave them both in the deck. And then we're just going to pass next turn and switch into the Magcargo-GX. And you could just do so much with so little in this deck. And let's see if they've got the double fire. They do, so it wouldn't have really mattered if I played the Hearth down, but you never really want to give your opponent the free Giant Hearth in this matchup, because that's just such an essential piece of getting the attack off, right? Is finding the Giant Hearth, giving yourself those 2 fire energy to accelerate with Welder, and if they've only got 1 fire energy in their hand instead of 2, then they're not going to be able to attack. They do take out my Oranguru though, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to just snap back here with our Magcargo-GX, especially with top deck that looks like that. Let's go. We have got the Giant Hearth and can get that energy into the bin. Go grab ourselves 2 fires, Welder to the active. And now we're really chilling. We've got another Slugma here, Fire Crystal, and can go. Yeah, Fire Crystal just gets us the 1 fire. I can manually attach that for turn. It's more than enough for a knockout, and then day-to-day change. To see some more cards, ideally would like to find an Oranguru, which we've got, and I've got Pokemon Communication as well as Great Ball. So let's see what else we have in the deck. The Celestial Storm Magcargo, good, and then I can see we can't accelerate another energy into play. It's fine. I think I'm just going to Pokemon Communicate this Magcargo-GX for potentially another, let's just get Ditto or another Slugma is fine. And then I think the Ditto is cool. I think the Ditto is cool. We'll go here. And then, sure, we can Primate Wisdom the Fire Crystal onto the top of the deck and just see what else. A Great Ball. We love to see it. And now we're really cooking. We've got another Slugma available to us. So let's just go and Lava Flow. We're going to discard 3 and take that knockout. Next turn, if my opponent, worst case scenario, does respond, that's okay. I get to promote my Slugma. And I do have a nice Dedenne change. Now I am going to leave this bench space open. I've got the Slugma. I felt like I wanted the Slugma over the Magcargo-GX because I want to ideally save this for the team up Ninetales, and I want to save this for the smooth over Magcargo. So I was feeling like I kind of wanted one more Slugma to place down, and I also am pretty confident. I actually don't think my opponent can physically knock out my Magcargo-GX in the active. So we're in a really powerful position right here, just capable of potentially targeting down whatever my opponent puts into play. If I can get that team up Ninetales out and ready. Looks like they're going in with Victini Prism Star. That is a good attacker. That is capable actually of taking a one-hit knockout if they've got 11 fire energy in the discard pile. It's one of the few Pokemon is actually capable of taking out this Magcargo this turn in their deck. Even Reshiram and Charizard's Double Blaze with only 3 fire energy can only deal 200. So that 210 hit points is very, very good for the Magcargo-GX, a Pokemon worth only 2 prizes, which there aren't just a lot of these decks in Standard right now. I feel like there's a lot of decks are playing tag team Pokemon, and Magcargo just carves out this niche for itself where it's this 2-prize deck, and you can even use the Island Challenge amulets to mess with the prize trade even further. I'm going to soften up my Magcargo with Victini Infinity, dealing 120 damage. Not bad. Now, I could be greedy, go for the Heat Factory. Could also Welder to the Magcargo. Can also stack my deck here. So I feel like we want to get a Fire Crystal, right? We got 3 fire energy in the discard pile. So we kind of want to stack our deck with a Fire Crystal and then Heat Factory into it. Seems kind of gnarly. So let's do that. I like that. Let's smooth over. And we're going to put a Fire Crystal on the top of our deck. I think. How many fire energy? I have 5 in deck. And I've got some cards I feel like I can discard. So maybe we actually go Fiery Flint. Let's go there. And then we're going to Heat Factory into the guaranteed Fiery Flint. We've got the Fiery Flint. We can go and discard the Switch. And now I think the Dedenne-GX can probably go as well. We're going to get all of these energy out of the deck. And then we have also got Welder. So we're going to Welder 2 fire energy onto the active. And we've got ourselves Pokemon Communication as well, which is really strong. So I can Pokemon Communicate. I want the Slugma down. I know that. I can Pokemon Communicate the Magcargo-GX. And we can get ourselves Probably the Ninetales. Just set that up and have it. Now I've obviously got a knockout on the active. I only need to discard 1 energy in order to do that. So I think we probably accelerate the other energies onto this benched Slugma. So, you know, no use in gusting and doing anything like that. So let's just attach this to the bench Slugma. And then let's also Primate Wisdom and throw that energy onto the top of the deck. And we'll Crushing Charge. Wow. I mean, I could have taken a knockout on that. Knowing now what I grab off the Oranguru, we could have taken out the Reshiram Charizard, but it's fine. I don't actually think that that's necessary this turn. So let's just Crushing Charge that other energy onto the benched Slugma. And we're just going to take this knockout. I'm anticipating that my opponent is already coming up next turn. We can just discard 1, do 100 damage to the Victini Prism Star. We're already anticipating that my opponent is coming up with that Reshiram Charizard this next turn. And now I've got a Magcargo with 2 energy on it, as well as a Slugma with 2 energy on it. So both of these Pokemon are capable of accelerating to an energy count that can easily dispose of the Reshiram and Charizard this next turn, winning me the game. And we could see how quickly we were able to ramp to this game state. I mean, it is definitely not a gimmick. The Crushing Charge ability in combination with Primate Wisdom is very strong, and the Smooth Over Magcargo really helping to kind of flesh out the rest of the deck and just get you that key card that you want. There's so many different ways to play the Smooth Over Magcargo. You can Smooth Over and then Primate Wisdom into the cards you need. You can Smooth Over and then Welder into the cards you need. You can Smooth Over and then Heat Factory into the card you need. Just a lot of really cool ways to play that. And as we see right here, I'm about to Smooth Over, and I could just Welder into whatever I want. I don't actually think we even need to do that. I just have game right here. We could go Smooth Over and place a Fire Crystal onto the top of my deck, and then we Fire Crystal from the discard pile, get ourselves 3, and can Welder those onto the active. And then we've just got so many more fire energy available to us. We can attach for turn, and we can Primate Wisdom another one onto the top of the deck, and we can Crushing Charge it. I mean, just look at this. It's insane. We could very easily do 350 damage. Even if it was a Snorlax VMAX, it would not be able to withstand our Magcargo-GX's Fury here. 350 damage with the Magcargo-GX, and yeah, I'm impressed. This deck is very strong, and I think that it is definitely a ton of fun to play, and highly recommend it. So that is the list from the top 32, Yohei Takeda's list from the Oceania International Championships. We'll take a look at the deck one more time. Definitely check it out if you have not already. There are a lot of the Magcargo decks I've seen on the Pokemon Trading Card Game online ladder, so you're bound to run into a mirror or two. This list is phenomenal, though, and I really like all of the card counts and inclusions in it. The Great Ball Pokemon Communication Quick Ball engine, very aggressive there. 3 Fiery Flint, 4 Fire Crystal. A great deck all in all, and definitely a lot of fun to play. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, and make sure to check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where we stream live Pokemon Trading Card Game content every single weekday. It's a ton of fun. Big shout out to everybody who's already joined us over on the Twitch stream. And also make sure to check out FullGripGames.com for all your trading card game singles, as well as FullGripCodes.com for all the newest Pokemon Trading Card Game online codes instantly delivered via email. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Peace.